Hey folks, I have not done a video for quite some time, but this video topic that I always wanted to do for a while. You guys know what I'm talking about, friendships in American culture. What makes friendships in America any different than any other country? What makes friendships in American culture different than any other culture in the world? Well, we're gonna find that out, and here we go. American culture is a culture of stranger friendliness, which doesn't exist in many other countries. It's not uncommon to get into formal conversations about sports, or your dog with a man bagging your groceries, or a woman behind you in the post office line. I noticed that friendships in American culture are very superficial, or for the most part, Americans will be polite to you with kindness, but not being honest when most of them have a very hard time handling real comments. The fact that Americans often come on very friendly in the beginning stages of the friendship and then sort of disappeared. Even close friendships with Americans are very difficult to maintain, and if you don't see an American for a while, there tends to be an out of sight, out of mind attitude, and those friendships eventually petered out and they don't want you to know them on a deeper level. Friendships between Americans tend to be shorter and less intense than those between people from many other cultures, because Americans are taught to be self-reliant and live in a very mobile society. Friendships are compartmentalized with friends at work or friends at school. Americans often seem very friendly even when you first meet them. This friendliness does not always mean that the person is looking for a deeper relationship. Many Americans are pleasant and professional, but indirect and hide their true emotions and feelings. Being polite is important in this culture, and sometimes they may keep being nice to you even if they do not wish to pursue a deeper friendship. Simply put, people do not want to connect in America. They just meet for their own convenience and then go on their way. And you are expected to do the same. This is being called the wall theory. And it describes two patterns of friendships, one American and one found in many other countries. The American pattern shows how Americans are initially very friendly and open, as symbolized by the first wall being very low. However, American values stress, privacy, and independence, and the walls become higher and higher before one reaches the stage of a good friendship. Thus, many international students are very happy when an American they meet is so friendly and open. However, when the American does not continue to act in the way that the international student expects of a friend, the international student is disappointed and confused. They may sometimes conclude that Americans are superficial and do not really know how to be friends. What the international student may not realize is that they have not yet reached the stage of being good friends with an American. They need to go over some higher walls before reaching the center in a good friendship. Alternatively, Americans living in a country where people are more reserved and not as initially friendly as in the US may sometimes become discouraged about ever making friends in that country. They may feel that people in their host country are very unfriendly. Hence the old saying, friends come and go in American culture. Due to individualism and egotism, Americans also see money as the bottom line in everything. And if they don't see a money-making opportunity in a relationship, they won't make an effort. That's also why Americans don't give a shit about learning anything about other countries, cultures, and languages. They see no money in the matter, and what doesn't make money for Americans is a waste of time. Well, for Americans, friends tend to be people who they encounter fairly frequently, and they are similar to themselves in demographics, attitude, and activities. While many other cultures value deep trust and meaning in their friendships, Americans will use the word friends to describe most people who have such qualities. There is also a difference in the U.S. between men and women who have friendships with the same sex. American men have less deep and meaningful friendships with other men. In the abstract, many men and women in the United States have similar definitions of intimacy, but most women are most likely to practice intimacy in friendships. They often use the term friend very loosely for a room of bullying and discrimination. Sure, some people will have friends just for personal benefit. But in American culture, you have a lot of acquaintances that aren't important. They do not help others nor care for them on the personal level. They're people you hang out with but don't personally invite you into their lives due to obtaining a career and having a lot of income. It's so hard that after high school you won't see them again because they have a mentality of live to work and they hardly keep in touch with people in the past. In fact, Americans eventually lose touch with friends. This can be an unusual occurrence in many other cultures. The advance of technology has also been blamed for declining friendships in the United States. Longer hours of work and a large amount of online communication takes away from personal communication, making it harder to form friendships. Social media sites has also led to a decrease in the amount of personal communication experienced in everyday life and serves to make emotional attachments more difficult to achieve. From my personal experience, I have very few contacts that I graduated with during my middle school and high school years. The ones that I know that are going to graduate college, high school, and university are going to change their lives due to how American society has been programmed. Also, it's a British Celtic thing. Not all of Europe is an easy to meet people place, and that area sucks. Since those are the people who have built the US and other Anglo countries, that is how things are. The foundation for American culture is basically British, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant values. Those values tend to create people with a cold, stiff upper lip, hard work, and snobbish mentality. It's good for productivity, but really bad for forming large, pleasant communities. Just look at the source of anal retentive social etiquette invented by Brits and you realize why America is the way it is. These values have sort of tingled down over time and formed their own distinct Americanisms. So America is an incompetent version of that. On top of that, America's social scene is ruled by subcultures and occupational communities. If you're not heavily into some form of music, art, or intensely focused career, you're on the outside with a lot of people. Overall, friendships in American culture are superficial. Don't get me wrong, people from all all over the world can make friends around here in America, and way more diversified than the rest of the world. But unfortunately, friendships here are less intense, no loyalty, and pretty much very, very, very trivial. Well, that's all I gotta say about this video, folks, and I gotta go. Peace out. Later. Bye-bye.